Today on JetCast, former Jets offensive lineman Cameron Clark. Hey everybody, welcome to JetCast. I'm Pat, that's Ray. Today we have former Jets offensive lineman Cameron Clark. Cam, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. So tell me, what do you think right now about the team? Little over halfway through the season. Well, we got 5 games left, right?
Yep, just about.
Yep. So what are your thoughts right now on the team going forward?
Yeah, I feel like this season's been. Like I said, I'm really excited for those guys, the people in the building. The organization deserves it, and things like that. So I mean, it's great to see. Like I said, it's not a more deserving fan base in the NFL for the Jets to be able to have this season that they're having, and it's been great. We take it as far as we can.
Yeah, we've definitely been struggling for a long time now. Right.
Yeah, Cam, I wanna get more into you. Us Jet fans back in the day. It feels like so long ago. You were a fourth round pick. Coming out, we have 129th overall, right? We were very excited. We saw the optimism. My question to you is more towards the draft and the pre-draft. When you were going through your pre-draft meetings and things, were there any other teams besides the Jets that showed particular interest in you? And if so, who were they?
Yeah, for me originally, when it was a handful of teams that I could possibly get drafted by. The Giants were another team, in the Philadelphia Eagles. I knew those the offensive line coaches that I had gelled the best with, and they had kind of seen me as well. The Chargers and Rams, but those were the people that really showed a liking to me the most in my pre-draft process.
Did you have a preference where you were looking to go, or was it almost just whoever drafts me? And the follow-up to that is, did you feel you were drafted too late, or did you figure you'd go right around 129 or so?
Yeah, no, I mean, I wanted to, like when I was coming into my pre-draft process, I really wasn't. So I didn't have I didn't have more so like a number that I had in mind. I just wanted to get my opportunity. Talk about as far as me getting drafted, where I got drafted. I was extremely. I mean, I was as a competitor. When you're sitting there watching the draft and you see guys go, I'm better than that guy or things like that. But I feel like that can be said with any guy. I feel like for more appreciative of me being able to get the opportunity.
Right. So when you finally get that call, I believe it was a Zoom call, right? You were called on a Zoom call.
Joe Douglas called me over on the phone.
Oh, okay. And what was that like? Were you like, finally? Did you have an inkling? Was your agent let you know, hey, look, maybe the Jets are coming to get you? What was that like? I can only imagine the intensity.
Yeah, and I was actually on the phone with he was actually talking about a team that I thought was going to draft me. They had called me the night before, and I thought they were going to draft me. They ended up choosing someone else. So I'm on the phone with him, and he's like, well, we can still get these guys this pick. And he's saying this, and I get the call from the New York number, and I'm like, hold on, let me answer the phone. So it was like right when I was kind of starting to worry a little bit. It was kind of right once I kind of started to worry, and me and my agent were talking, but I was on the phone with my agent trying to figure out the pick after. I thought that the other team was going to get me.
Cam, players like you that are drafted between like the third and fifth round are what really build the bulk of a roster. You get those players in the first and second round, and they need to be complemented by players that are taken later and the undrafted free agents. Now, you were a tackle, and you were potentially transitioning to guard. I think there was a little bit of talk about that when you first got there. What were your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so I played tackle in college. When I got to New York, I was moved to guard primarily. I played some guard. I played guard and tackle when I was healthy things in practice. I said I was more so. I kind of figured when I was going through the process, people in tackle, how do you feel about playing guard? And those are things that I was practicing in the off season. So I know you speak about being in through that third and fifth round. Those guys in the first two positions where they're pin holder, where this guy's an outside receiver, this guy's a tackle, this guy's a guard. But when you come
Yeah.
in and you're that third, fifth, late round guys undrafted free agent, and then even to compromise their position. Wherever you fit in college and what your scheme or exactly that the coach that you have might not see you in the way that you might have to change your position. So I was fully aware of that coming into the NFL. That was something that I kind of expected. I might have been a little more taken back if they moved me to center or something. I played that in the past, but moving to guard, a 6'4", I was 6'4", 303 weighted. If they wanted me to come in and have that position flexibility.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we didn't really get to see you play too much for our team, and we see guys get injured all the time. We see guys, offensive linemen like Mackay, who gets hurt in training camp and then is out all season. What is that? When you're hurt like that and you're never able to get to the field after playing this game your entire life. What is that like? What is that? What does that do to somebody that is so invested in wanting to play football and unfortunately can't?
All guys take it differently, but I think I would be correct by saying guys I struggle with. When
Hmm.
fans see things on Sunday, when fans are watching the games, every single player on that field is hurt in some way, form, or fashion. At least are pushing themselves to play past, points that they probably shouldn't be playing. Actually being sidelined and just the daily routine of having to go to treatment, not being able, when you go to meetings and you're watching other guys on film, you're not seeing yourself. You start second guessing, just that whole recovery process is different and unique. And then when you get back out on the field, it's actually, and like I said, all guys that are playing on Sundays are injured, and
Yep.
it's not like when you come back from injury, like you're 100% healed. You're just good enough
Right.
to practice, good enough to play type thing. And it's one of those things like it might be something that happened during OTAs, or it might be something that happened maybe something that's just been bothering you, something that you kind of never get ahead of, because rest is required to injuries, and in the sport, it's you have to be available.
Yeah, I'm sure if for us as fans, if we don't see them on the injury report, they're not injured. But I'm sure. I mean, it's such a violent sport. There's always something that I'm sure every play that's tweaked or hit or something. So, what exactly was your injury, and how did it happen? If you want to elaborate
Mhm.
on what happened to you.
Yes, some people it can be called transit paraplegia. So my whole really my I used to get seniors and things like that, but ended up being that it wasn't just in one limb. Neuropraxia, transit paraplegia is when it happens in more than one. So we were at practice. It was the first padded practice. Ended up taking a hit, and I was unconscious. I was paralyzed. The only thing I could feel was my much great recollection of the incident, but it was one of
You couldn't
those
feel
things where
you couldn't feel anything after you got hit.
no,
Oh
no,
Jesus,
How
I could
scary,
feel
man.
I had it
that's gotta
was,
be
and I was
terrifying.
yeah, like I said, and that was tough, but I'm in the ambulance. I get in the ambulance, and I'm kind of realizing what's happened. Hospital, I regained feeling, and I'm thinking I speak to Coach Sala. I'll be back. I'm just waiting. I knew it was going to be some kind of recovery process, but I think I'm coming back. I'm a spine specialist that next week, and he made it clear to me that, he told me, and like I said, because I had no diagnosis. I didn't know exactly what it was, and he couldn't clear me to play anymore due to me risking full paralysis.
Did you have any sort of injury like this in college? Was there anything
No,
like leading up to it, or it was just
not to this extent.
wow? I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible.
Yeah.
So now that you've had that, unfortunately you're like forced into retirement. I see you opened Abundance Performance. Can you get into that? Can you tell us what that's about?
Yeah, so since retiring, I started back at my alma mater. I was at UNC Charlotte, and I was helping those guys out. I was in offensive line special. I still, because at first when my injury happened, I was just kind of through with football. I didn't get to fulfill what I wanted to fulfill as far as my career went. I didn't like seeing football, things like that. It was tough for me to. So at first I thought that I was for football and try to take another route as far as like as a profession. But I was hanging around. It was just natural, man, and I realized like I still had more to give to the game, and I still wanted to have it on the younger guys and help them get to just help them maximize their talent and that was my way of continuing to add value to the football community, and like I said, I really enjoy it, and that's my next thing is just continuing. When I was before the NFL was an aspiration of mine, I just wanted to be the best high school player I could be. But along the way, if if football ended, I always wanted to be a football coach, an offensive line coach in specific. So this is my that water in more of an untraditional sense of being a traditional college coach, going to be a guy, just trying to be able to have an impact on guys on the high school level, the college level, and I'm excited about that. I just started that in August, and I look for collaborations coming up and being able to work with some guys this off season. So
Awesome. So one last question before we let you go. Mike White has clearly replaced Zach as quarterback. What is that? What does that do to an offensive line or lineman in reading protections and understanding the tendencies of that quarterback? Is it a difficult learning curve when you have someone else back there calling the shots?
I would say the offense, Zach, Matt White, they'll be running the same plays. You know what I mean? So they'll be calling the same protections. Defenses might attack them differently, but from as far as a blocking, these are the guys that we're responsible for. I feel like that's more of an offensive kind of type thing, and that's why he's come in and see other quarterbacks have success because everyone else's job doesn't change. It changes in a way, but not in a way that it's like relearn the things that they're doing or things like that. Each player has their own tendencies and things, but I would it's taxing on the offensive line.
Okay. And the last one for me is, I can't let you go without asking this. Throughout your entire college career, and even you could say, before pads and things, who was the most difficult defensive lineman you've ever gone up against?
Batukasi.
No kidding. Wow,
yeah.
Can you give us any details on that? Can you break that down for us at all?
Yeah, I mean, Foley was Foley's a and I feel like he's an extremely underrated player. Foley might not be a guy that you talk about like a guy that's like real good in the locker room. Like his presence is felt. He getting all the sacks and things like that. But Foley practices extremely hard. He's extremely strong against. I mean, he was just extremely powerful. It was Quentin was great too, but Foley was a guy that I felt like based off my skill set, Foley was the guy that I feel like I learned the most from block. I learned the most about my because when I came into the Jets, Foley was still kind of a guy that was proving himself. He wasn't a guy that was starting. He was really proving himself. So he was in that season where he was climbing. And people are always hungry while they're on the climb. And I'm really still hungry, but he was an extremely talented player.
Wow, awesome. All right, well, thanks, Cam, for your time. Really appreciate it. To our viewers, if you're new here, please subscribe. If you've been here before, welcome back. And Cam, we'll have to have you on.
Where can people find you,
again
Cam?
sometime. Yes, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can Abundance Performance. Like I said, that's my business page. And my Twitter is @MadeMan. Yeah, man, you can follow me on TikTok as well. You'll see some of my content on there. I'm just like I said, I'm just in this value the best I can and help the guys that are coming after me. And I appreciate you all giving me your platform and show.
Oh, we appreciate you. Thanks, man, so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Alrighty.